Following the explosion of the Pegasus, both the United States and Britain immediately dispatched flotillas to the Caribbean to reinforce their possessions and shipping lanes. Neither nation wants conflict, as they are both war-weary and had just signed the Treaty of Ghent 2 years prior, ending the War of 1812. As the Pegasus didn't officially belong to either nation, both are willing to ignore the incident to avoid full-scale conflict. Despite this, neither nation was ready to give in so easily to the other's demands. As the flotillas are patrolling, they sight each other on the horizon. Neither flotilla is quite aware of the intention of the other, and naturally assume the worst. After some signaling and a lot of disbelief in communication, the captain of the American fifth-rate Incognito orders his crew to fire, as he is all too ready to get revenge for the engagement only weeks before. What started as truly a chance encounter becomes the first battle of a war that no one is yet aware they are fighting.
We're here today for the second campaign in our Black Seas, British versus American campaign.
Yeah, so I'm John.
I'm Mikey.
And it's TriStar Wargaming. You know that because you're watching it, though. So quick little note before we get stuck into everything today. For one, I'm trying to project my voice more. I know I need to speak up. But we're getting new audio equipment and new video equipment later this week, actually. So hopefully the next few videos that go up, you're going to see an improvement in quality in the sound and in the filming and the whole 9 yards. We're still learning what we're doing, and we really appreciate your support because, I mean, for our first video to be where it's at already at the time of filming this is 173 views, and it's not even been a full week since it's been uploaded. That's just, I mean, we didn't expect that, and then that's really nice, and the comments have been really positive, and the comments I've gotten from people that I know that have seen it in real life are just super positive. So anyway, we appreciate your support. It really means a lot. But anyway, let's get stuck into the game. So what are we doing today?
We are playing a chance encounter. Essentially, we've got our British fleet and our fledgling United States fleet. I'm assuming what's happened is after our last little Donnybrook in the Caribbean, you guys have mobilized some ships, and we have mobilized some more. Everybody's starting to meet up now. It's a pretty simple scenario. Once one of our fleets has either been, half of it has been captured, struck their colors, or sunk, the game's over. You score a point for every point of damage you deal to an opponent's ship. You score 5 points if you can force a brig to strike its colors or sink it. You score 5 points if you can bring a frigate down to half of its ship points, or you score 10 points. You don't skin a ship. Or if you can score 10 points if you can actually capture or sink a frigate. That's pretty much it. If you do manage to capture an enemy ship, you sail up on it when it struck its colors. You grapple it, it's yours. You actually will keep it for the rest of the campaign, but for the remainder of that game, you can only sail it at light sails, and you can only shoot half of its cannons. We're going to start the game here in a moment. We just got to roll to get a random direction on the wind, and we will be back.
All right, sounds good.
I suppose we should show them who's actually participating in this battle, so...
Well, you guys remember these beautiful ships from the first game. This is the HMS Warden, this is the HMS Disdain, and the HMS Charger, but today they've brought some backup in the form of the well-crafted HMS Guardian, and we are here to shut down the insurgency that is the United States.
And
Caribbean.
they're all regulars, right?
Yes, everything is regular. Actually, I think, because last game we decided that everybody in our starting fleet would be regular, and then from here on out, anything that gets added is an experience. So they're all regular until they can get... Well, he has to have 2 games to go to veteran.
Yeah.
Any one of these that survives at above half their ship points will become veterans in the next game.
Awesome. Also, hi, puppy.
Sorry for the extra noise. The 2 game room mascots typically like to join us out here in the early mornings.
That's fine. So we're going to move on to the Americans. So you guys saw the USS Incognito last time.
It's gonna be my 5th rate, and again, all my stuff's at regular too. We kind of skipped past the recruit stage for our base force in the campaign. Then we've got the USS Savannah. It's got that green inside deck that you probably can barely see. The USS Argus, which I believe was actually a real brig for the U.S. It might have even, yeah, it was a brig. And it's got the black interior, and then the USS Madison with the red interior. So that's pretty much going to do it. We've got the just kind of basic forces, and then as far as our table is concerned, it's honestly kind of mirrors the scenario. You just got some little rocks. We got tokens. I actually plan on making some rock terrain. We got some sandbanks, and then a little island here. But yeah, let's get stuck into it, I guess.
Well, be prepared for us to run our ships aground because it's a pretty busy battlefield, and neither one of us have ever admitted to being a great captain. But we will start with a roll for the wind direction. And that is a 6. So the wind is coming in. It gusts from the east. So we'll set
Yes,
that
I guess
up.
we never established. I guess we should do
Well,
that right now.
we've always done north facing
North is this way? Okay, so
So it's gusting from the east. So it will be blowing out this way, which will put me in a bad. Well, no, because we actually are. The deployment zones are here, so it's not really affecting either one of us.
all right, well, we'll be back after we've deployed our ships. All right, guys, we're back. We're deployed. So it looks like the British have deployed over on this side.
South side.
We actually rolled. Yeah, I took the north because I won the roll off. We did that off camera because it's not a big deal. South side, and yeah, I've got my stuff in lines, two separate lines, and it looks like you're just going for the good old roll and go. I don't know what to call that.
But I did also, by the way I placed them, I did ensure that 2 of my ships will act first. Not that it makes a difference. From
That
here,
is true.
It looks like we're outrunning a tsunami. That's hilarious.
Oh yeah. So yeah, you will go first, starting with that guy in the back corner there.
Perfect.
I actually don't think, since we're pretty adept at it, I'm gonna skip through the movements so that way everybody can see exactly what we've done.
That sounds good.
Oh, we're starting at battle sails. I guess I ought to mention that.
Well, I'm going to bring 2 of my ships immediately to full sails.
Okay.
That's the Charger, which is the second from the table edge, and the Warden, which is at the table edge. So they're going full sails right out of the gate. They're hungry. They're ready to initiate some battles here.
They're ready for round 2
Mm-hmm.
after destroying that merchant ship. They're
Although
ready.
that's not what they were supposed to do.
Well,
So, but yes, they are.
they got a little bit overzealous, I guess.
No, we're not going to turn yet. We're just going to keep that wind that are coming in from our back, and then we'll make our turn. And then the second ship. Let's just steady the course there.
So at this point,
You now.
I believe that
well.
those 2 will activate.
Let me double check that.
We had a laser pointer at some point and it disappeared.
Batteries ran out on it.
Oh, the batteries ran out?
Yeah, I
That's
think
lame.
so.
All right, we'll get a new one in hopefully soon.
So it looks like the disdain is 11 and 3/8 from the table edge. And yes, so the next one that goes will be this one, then the disdain, and then your.
Well, they're in line.
Oh,
so.
that's right. So
Yeah.
do you go off of the last ship? Then they both.
It's just when ships are in line, they all activate together.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So then those 2 will activate. Then my last one here. Then the frigate, and then your last 2.
Cool. All right. So I'm gonna pass that over. And I'm a bad boy. I didn't get my measure tape. Doesn't matter though. I don't need it. What am I doing? What game am I playing? I'm actually gonna drop them to light sails.
Okay.
Both of them. And we're actually denoting that on our cards here.
Which, by the way, I will show you this. I'm not going to take credit for it. I saw another YouTuber use this little technique. Me and John do not, I should say John and I do not enjoy having these wake markers under the ship. It's just they slide everywhere. The ships don't want to stay on them. But I did see another YouTuber, and I cannot remember the name. It's not that I'm not trying to give him credit. But I saw this the other day and said, I'm absolutely going to borrow this idea. And that's what John was doing.
So your light sails, you're not going to go very far. We're going to turn him so that he's just a little bit more straight. And take him up, turn just a little bit. Then it's your activation.
Perfect. I guess we're going to go ahead and go full sails with as well for the Briggs.
You're just coming right for me.
Yeah, I've learned in our last couple games that the small ships, if they're moving fast, very hard to wound. You know, they're very hard to hit.
That's true. Yeah, well.
Now, I'm sure at some point when I run one of these suckers and ramp it over a sandbank,
That's what I'm trying to be
hurt.
careful of, because there's a lot of crap to run into around here. So
I mean, we could step it down. But you know what? When have you ever known me to make the right decisions?
in this game, never.
And anyway, even when I do make the right decisions, my dice fail me anyway. So I'm used to it at this point.
Well, maybe if you'd quit saying it, it'd stop happening. I don't know.
I think for me, I guess since I'm not a competitive player, I've always just been the type of guy that says, if I felt like I was competitive, and if I felt like you had to earn that win, I'm happy.
So then,
The last one for mine to activate is going to be the Guardian, and she's just going to stay at battle sails because I don't want to get everybody in and get plunk shots. But I tell you what, since we're not going to be anywhere near you guys, I'm going to go ahead and change my ammunition type. I'm going to change the ammunition type over to, I think it's called double shot.
okay, yeah, that's
And since I'm not in any danger, because once you change ammunition, you can't shoot that turn
right, yeah.
from that side. So I'm going to go ahead and change the ammunition on both sides of the ship, since I'm nowhere near John, to double shot.
Yep.
And then that way, since I can't shoot anything this turn, I should be able to take care of business next turn.
Cool.
So we're staying at battle sails, and I will denote on my card that I have changed to double shot.
Sweet.
And that is the last of my activation this turn.
All right. Then I've got to take care of these guys. And I'm actually going to, on these two ones that are forward there, change them to grape shot.
Great
on
shot.
Both gun decks.
And also, guys, as John talked about the
They're gonna
camera
stay at
equipment, staying in battle sails.
Yeah.
Perfect. As John talked earlier about the sound quality getting better and the camera quality getting better, I'm also developing plans on some beautiful sight blocking curtains because you may love the clutter in the background. I don't. So we are working on trying to cover up some of this just to make the video quality better. And that is the last of the activation on turn 1. So John, if you want to do the honors and roll for the wind direction on turn 2.
I'll need 2 dice for that.
And that is a 5.
That's going to be a change.
And that is a 6. That is a change in wind direction. We'll be right back once we've noted that on the windrows.
Okay, so we've got the windrows changed. It moved 1 to the anti-clockwise,
That's
which
the British say.
was going that way. So now it's going that way, which means that I will... No, you'll...
No, because it's coming from where you're standing at the corner table. It's going to get... yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I think it still hit...
Because that's facing north.
No,
So
this line will activate first. Yeah.
But see, I guess what I'm trying to get across to you, I think you're going to activate all yours first, because if you look at the windrows,
No.
if it's up here at the north, the wind's actually coming from this direction, so it's going to catch.
Actually, it is gonna get your ship first. Because you got to think it's going in lines.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So
So it's going well, no, because let's just follow the bouncing ball here.
well, it goes like this though.
it's sideways starting from it, so it's like
Okay, I see what you're saying. So
yeah,
So yeah, those two will activate.
yeah,
Well, what about it? Yeah, I see what you're saying. We're on
Yeah.
the same page now.
yeah.
Then I've got that ship. And then I actually no. I think it still catches you. Yeah, 'cause
Well-
even coming at this angle, it's that line, then that line.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it's just gonna and that's just part of the game. You're
Okay.
gonna activate first.
Cool. So let's play a game. How many idiots does it take to figure out how to work wind direction? Okay, so I'll hand that
Well,
over.
I mean, how often in our daily lives, since we're not part of the Navy, do we ever need to deal with wind direction?
No offense to Gabriel, but I don't know that this is entirely realistic either. it makes sense though. It's a good game
Well,
mechanic.
it's
So I put these guys on light sails. Yeah.
Yep.
That's fine. Just gonna.
so you may not get to shoot at me this turn anyway.
Yeah. No.
That was my concern when you got to activate first. Worst comes to worst, you fire as she bears whenever I get close enough. Since we're running wide open,
I do hope the wind changes because
because you might be going way out of the game.
I'm gonna have to slow them down. So they're at battle sails. They're gonna drop to light sails. No, they're not. I lied.
I think they're already at light sails, aren't they?
No, those guys are battle sails.
Okay.
I'm trying not to turn them right into the wind. It's kind of what I'm. They're still not in.
Yeah, honestly, dude, I don't think I've not seen a situation where you may be in
No,
trouble.
I'm all right.
Yeah, now you need to turn.
Yeah. Let's move that enough so that I don't.
And now this is some tricky maneuvering, folks, because
I might end up out of line.
yes, if he can't get that ship back in, tucked in behind his predecessor, he will fall out of line.
It's the bowsprit, I believe, on this, and that would be like the light sails, which they're battle sails anyway, marker. So I think we're still in line. I think we're good.
Yeah, and if you're not, dude, like just looking at the light sail marker on my ship cards, you would be a millimeter out, and this is a gentleman's game, so it wouldn't bother me one way or the other.
Cool.
So, like I said, it's close enough. This is
I usually say about an inch because if you look, just for everybody watching, where's your measuring tape? If you look at the cards here,
It's an inch is battle sails,
Mhm.
and a half inch is light sails, and then another half inch is full sails. So yeah, basically I can just do it that way.
Yeah.
If it comes to it.
cool. All right, so now you are going to activate all of your ships.
I believe.
time to rock and roll. Okay, so starting, like I said, wind direction this way, bang. And we are still rocking full sails, so we're going to take off.
You're trying to get in there. Apparently.
Apparently. I wonder how many of the viewers remember Leroy Jenkins.
Everybody remembers Leroy Jenkins.
Because maybe when you heard me say full sails last turn, maybe in your head you heard Leroy Jenkins.
I don't know that it's quite that dire yet. It'd be more like Leroy Jenkins would be more like if that brig was on its own versus my entire flotilla. That would be more of a Leroy Jenkins moment, I think.
So this ship is now activated.
I think you're out of range though.
Well, it's heavy cannons is all we have, so we got 20-inch range.
20 inches. Yeah.
The broadside not being all dead on would be the only thing. So I'm going to use some cards to check my broadside, but I think I'm well within the 20 inches if I have a broadside on you.
That I don't know if that's tornado. We'll find out in a second. And
There's my broadside.
I think you're.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 20 inches is probably. Yeah, you're well within range, but I do not have. I couldn't draw to bear on you.
Yeah. Oh well. I say that like that affects me somehow. Negatively, that is. So, yeah, this whole wind direction thing is not working out for my plans.
You know what? I had to step those down. We need to make a correction on that because the way the wind changed,
Mm-hmm.
I could no longer go above battle sails. So I'm gonna actually have to take that move back.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I turned the full direction that way. So let's just straighten her up. That's where that one would have ended. And I don't think I would want to turn it anyway. And now that's my first move with that one. These need to be denoted as battle sails, by the way. None of my ships can go above battle sails at this point due to the
Wind
change in
direction.
direction. Yep.
We'll throw that handy dandy little wind direction diagram chart image. What do you call those things?
It's a diagram.
Diagram? Well, like figure. Refer to figure like 1-3. We all remember
Actually,
high school
no.
textbooks.
We're already in trouble.
Why?
The wind direction changed, and I have to go to light sails, so everybody's got to tack,
What? Oh, really?
except the frigate. So we actually are in trouble.
You gotta go to light sails from that angle?
Yeah, because, well,
No.
it's coming directly in at the side. Well, no, because
So you should be able to stay at.
this ship, all these ships were basically aimed at this angle, right?
Okay.
So the wind direction coming in would be like so. So where does that hit me at in your estimation?
We'll be back. Let me look at the diagram.
Direction.
Okay, so we've deliberated some. So we reset them back to where they were when we started this turn. So the wind is facing that way, and according to our diagram, which I'll throw up right there, yeah, I think you're gonna have to drop to light. Well, it's facing like that. I'm just gonna move my hand. I mean,
I feel like all three of those ships are going to be getting hit in the front.
no, actually, these two right here are actually getting hit from behind, which you're allowed to be at full sail from there, I believe. From behind that center line. But the guy behind them, it's definitely coming from the front, from his direction.
Yeah, so these two, so you're saying these two could maintain full sails
Yeah.
since it's behind the line.
Yeah, they're fine.
This guy will take, he's going to have to drop to light sails
Yeah,
and take D3 points of damage in a
And
critical
then-
sail hit.
and then big guy's fine.
Yeah, okay. So, alright, so basically, guys, we kind of went back and reviewed the footage and tried to put the
And-
ships back where they started so that we could redo the turn correctly.
Well, and I want to point out, obviously with experience in the game, which we're again still rusty, we're still getting our bearings back, no pun intended. It's it comes. Sorry, I had to pause it there. I lost my train of thought. It comes with time. You know, we wouldn't make these mistakes and have to go back and fix them. We'd catch them sooner.
But still, yeah, the wind direction is such a finicky thing. Like,
But-
sometimes you will have to just stop and try to figure it out together what your determination on the wind direction is.
Well, and my point with where I was going with that is that might seem to a lot of people that haven't actually played the game or don't have the enthusiasm for this type of game, it might seem kind of trivial. Like, well, why would you worry so much about something like that? Because it slows the game down. But in reality, it's not really slowing the game down. It's more like playing chess in a way. It's more like I need to position my stuff in such a way that it doesn't affect me negatively. And I guess what I'm trying to say is it's part of the game itself. Like, you could almost play this game, you could set up an obstacle course and just play by yourself and try not to hit anything. It really does add. I believe it adds rather than detracts from the experience. That's my opinion. We have a review up. Or no,
Not yet. It's going up Wednesday. I think.
I lied. I lied. Yeah, I think it's going up Wednesday. So this is going to come out on Monday more than likely. Maybe Tuesday. So either tomorrow or the next day, depending on when this actually gets uploaded, the review will be up. So go check that out. Actually, I might link that in the card right here. Yeah. Cool. Anyway.
So, part 2, British movement redo. So, these guys, we determined through a gentlemanly discussion that they could still remain at full sails. So we're basically just going to go back and redo everything that we just did.
It's just the way it is.
Babe.
It's just the way it goes. I don't remember what that song was from. Oh well.
There we go. And that's literally where we started at last time.
Yep. Hey, we're back where we
So then
started.
this guy's got his full sails move.
And I think from where you're at, You might have to drop your level of sail, but I don't think you'll have to tack anytime soon. So you should be all kosher.
So I do have a shot. Would you consider that either one of the ships?
But yeah, either or.
Actually, I think it's just going to be a frigate. Are we within range?
Probably not from that angle. Maybe.
Yeah, we're in range.
But you're gonna take the penalty for over 10 inches, though.
Yes. So again, for the viewers that stuck around from the last game, this would be the initial broadside, but brigs don't have light cannons, so being a small ship, that's all you get is an extra light. And we got 2 shots from our heavies. You were at light sails, so I don't suffer any penalty from that. You're a medium ship, so I don't suffer any penalty from that.
Yep.
The British have the drilled special rule, same as the
plus
Americans.
1.
Yep,
Yep.
plus 1 to hit out of the gate. The base value is 5 to hit. We go to 6.
6, and then
But I'm beyond 10
Yep.
inches, so I think we actually will drop 2.
a 5.
So I think it's when you
Oh,
when
is
you're
it
beyond
2?
10, it's 2.
Yeah, I think we got that wrong last game.
Well, when
actually.
you made a note in the video that I saw, I did watch that. So
Oh, cool.
we need 4s to hit that frigate. And we get 1, and it's a critical.
Oh, wow.
That is a good start to the game.
That is, well, for you.
Yeah, for me. Well, I'm about to take a sales hit on this guy here, so I'll take that. So on to the critical hit chart. You will take 2 points of damage right off the bat
Yep.
for the hit, and then on the critical hit, 3. You have a rudder and a steering hit. So at the next activation, you just roll a d3 and a 1. You change all the way to the left, full direction, and this is at the end of each move. So like,
Is it at the end of each move? It says the activation, right?
well, on a roll of a 1, it says here, at the next activation, roll a d3. On a roll of a 1, the ship will change its direction to the full extent of its turn arc to the left at the end of each movement.
Oh.
So like you're just going to be
No.
turning in a
Oh, no,
circle.
no. Whatever I roll at the
Yeah,
end of each move.
whatever you only roll it at 1.
Yeah, I roll it.
Activation.
I roll at the start of the activation. Yeah.
I think we did get that wrong in the last.
Yeah,
one,
no,
because
that's-
I was changing direction.
No, that's why I was gonna say that, but we were so into it, we
yeah, we
lost
just rolled
ourselves.
with it, and it didn't really. We had fun, so. But yes, I'll give you a rudder steering hit token. And,
Thanks. I
Hey,
appreciate
you
it.
know what? It's a little late for Christmas, but what can I say?
Thanks.
So, depending on what you roll next turn determines what that guy does. So, unless his little brig wants to play piggyback, he may have to fall out of line.
I'm gonna give you a big old puff of smoke
That's
for
big.
that one.
That's almost that's comically. That's more like it, right? That's more like
Oh, boo.
it. Okay, so 2 points a hit on the incognito, and then now we activate this little fella here, which is the disdain, and it's going to take a critical hit, or it's going to take a critical roll on the chart as well, because we had to drop 2 levels of sail from full sails to
Well, you
light.
haven't taken your test yet.
I know, but either way, you still take the damage, and then you still have to take the test.
Yeah, you take the
So
that's
here's
right.
the D3 damage. So she takes 2 points of damage.
Yep.
So she goes down to 18 ship points. And then she will roll on the critical hit chart. 4. Crew hit. If enough sailors are disabled, so we put the crew hit token next to the ship.
No, you take the
The sails hit.
yeah.
That's right. So we don't even roll on that.
Yeah,
My
that's a
bad. We can cut that out.
Yep.
Or you can leave it to show that we are still idiots and still learning the game.
I don't know. I'll debate it.
For the next activation, the rate of the knots for the ship is reduced by 2. So place the sails hit token next to the ship and then remove it at the next activation.
Then-
So it moves down. It moves down to like merchant level speed
Yeah.
for this turn.
Which is about over anyway.
Yeah, and so I guess it could have been worse. So she gets one activation because she had to go to light sails. So she gets 1 3-inch move.
Womp.
Wah, wah.
That one's fine in terms of
Yeah.
whatever level of sail it's
I'm not gonna bump it up though. I don't want to go full sails.
at. No, that might be catastrophic.
That would be well. I don't know. Honestly, as long as I were to position the ship in such a way that she's facing directly this direction, I don't think there's anything that could be done
That's
to hurt
fair.
her. But I'm not gonna do it. We're gonna stay where she's at. Battle sails.
Why test fate?
Yeah, I'm
You've
gonna
already
risk
done
it.
that once.
I literally said just a second ago that there's nothing that could happen, but the game would do something like completely flip the wind direction on me.
I don't think that's even possible.
You know what? I would agree, but I've seen stranger things. would open the book and there'd be a whole new page that we'd never seen before. That would say, on a roll of this, just completely change the direction of the wind.
On a roll of this, release the Kraken.
Release the Kraken.
This is where, if we had the models, and we don't because we're lame, we would put the Kraken model that Black Seas has come out with, but we're lame. So,
Alright, that's my 2 moves.
cool. So we're done with that
So
turn.
that's turn 2, so then we're going to have to roll for the wind direction change. Turn 3.
Turn 3, wind direction.
Oh, wow.
Wow, okay.
So it's a good thing I didn't do it. I haven't looked at this yet, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're going to get a gust of wind, too.
Yeah.
So whatever happens is going to speed everybody up. Wind swell. Add 1 to the rate of knots for all ships this turn only, and the wind does not change direction. So it continues as it's going, but everybody gets to move just a little bit faster this turn.
I'm cool with that. All right, so...
So again, I think...
This time I will activate this line first.
Yep.
Then that ship. Then that ship. Then that ship. Then this line. And then that ship.
I don't know. I think it might actually go...
It definitely hits that first.
Yeah, you get yours first,
Then that
then
one.
this one. I think it's going to grab your next line.
Oh yeah, from this angle you
Yep.
can kind of
And
see
then
it.
it's going to grab that ship, and
Yep.
then it's going to grab that ship, and then it's going to grab my frigate again.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good to me. So here you go.
All right, so let's see what happens with this wonderful rudder steering hit.
So they are.
Can John, the amazing captain that he is, looking for your marker?
Yeah, I'm looking for. Oh, they're right in front of me.
Yep.
Okay.
Can John manage to maintain the line?
Oh,
Roll
yeah,
your
I
D3
forgot
and
about
see what
that.
happens with your rudder hit. That's a 3. You're going to be turning to the full. Happens in this game, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the deal, folks at home that do not understand the game. This is not a game where when models leave the table, they disappear and they're done. Essentially, that word, I got to stop saying it. But what I'm trying to say is, if that ship goes off the table,
So I move 7 inches.
well, what's your basic move? 5?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to get 6.
Because we get +2 to the.
No, it's just +1.
Oh, is it only +1?
Yep, I think so. Let me double check.
Whoops.
Yep, just add 1.
Oops. Okay, so 6.
So move 6 inches and then turn your full arc to the right.
Well, that's actually.
You're okay this turn because you're
Yeah.
only moving light sails. But the question is, does the brig in the back?
It makes me miss.
Yes. Does the brig in the back follow suit to stay in the line, or does it go ahead and fall out?
Well, it's not. My plans of what I was attempting to do with that are kind of foiled because of that. So, and that's kind of the beauty of the critical hits in this game.
Yep.
Um,
So what happened was like a Villeneuve,
Villeneuve.
where
Villeneuve,
yeah, because
that's
Nueve would be like the Spanish version of him. It'd be like a cheap knockoff Spanish version of that
Spanish
French
would be
admiral.
Villanova. Villanova is how you say
Okay.
Villanova, but Villanova. Yeah.
But Villeneuve, the French admiral at Trafalgar, was it Trafalgar?
Yeah, he was the Lord Admiral, whatever you
Yeah,
call him.
whatever the French version they would. Yeah,
Highest guy.
Yep. He basically lined his ships up, in a long line so that they could completely broadside everything that came near.
Well, that was my his were vertical vertical lines. I was attempting a horizontal line, but I guess I should have said I was debating going to battle sails, and I just didn't bother to say. I'm just gonna take it. I didn't say I was gonna do it, so I'll be a good boy. Oh, but if he activates first, he's maybe.
Yeah, you may not want to keep him in that direction. You may
Yeah.
want to keep him going more towards the southwest.
I'm trying to. I want a shot at you though. You know what? I'm taking a shot at you.
Ooh, okay. Because here's what's going to happen. Even if John's successful, he'll get points, right? But depending on the wind's activation, those two ships are going to hit each other, and that could be really bad.
So you're definitely within my arc. I didn't really think that was a question. I just did it for, yeah. But you are going to be, basically I'm going to be shooting the same you were because he moved.
Well, you kept him at full sails. We determined last
Oh,
turn.
we did
Yes,
say
so
full
you
sails.
will take the -3 to that.
And then there's another -1 for moving over 10 inches, right? Or is it -2?
No, it's negative. It's a -3 total for the moving over 10 inches and at full sails.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
But
And then -2 for being.
Yeah, so that there. That's where I guess I have to. I want to give you the option to go back and change your mind.
No, I made
because
I'm gonna sleep in it.
If you don't score any hits, then it's a huge.
So we're talking
Sixes. Yep,
and
to
then
start.
-5, so I'm hitting on critical. You know
Yeah.
what? No.
Hey,
And this is the initial broadside, which I don't think you rolled.
well, you don't get one for the small ships.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because they only get the
They
extra
only get
light.
extra
Yep.
light, yeah.
So you get 2 blues.
Is that cocked?
You know,
I
I
can't
think it's
tell.
cocked because it's not. It's
Yeah.
not straight up. Roll that one again. Okay.
Well, it's a
so,
good.
yeah. So he does get at least 2 points of damage, and he's going to roll on the chart.
Get a little.
Yeah. Put your wool out.
Bam.
Now, roll on the critical chart and see what happens to that ship. 2. All right. That.
I'll take over duty here.
Is a gun deck hit. So basically, that side cannot shoot this turn. It has been disabled, which is fine. I mean, I'll take the 2 points.
I think I was feeling lucky. I was feeling lucky, and I think it paid off that time. I'm not gonna do it again though. That is the extent of my luck, and I'm gonna go ahead and just. It's part of being an admiral. Is you have to know when to hold them. You have to know when to fold them.
That also works for a game. That's who exactly I thought it was. Okay.
This
So-
is the part where Kenny Rogers plays.
Yep. So that side of the ship cannot fire their cannons this turn. They have been scattered on the deck. They're trying to get back. They're scrambling to get back into position. So then we determined that ship was the next to activate. Correct.
Yeah.
This one activated, and then I think. Then your next line activates. Is that correct? And then
Yeah.
the rest of mine.
You can see it better from over here, what we're talking about, because the wind comes in this way, so it actually hits his stern before it hits him. I about said his butt, and then I was like, I probably ought to be at least a little tactful. Or
So 6-inch move there.
So, I think I saved myself from what otherwise might have been a pretty good round of shooting for you.
Potentially, yeah. I'm trying to determine what I want to do here.
Yeah, because if you move him,
Well, I mean,
he's still at full sail though.
Yeah. So even if I get in his arc, I'm not gonna say it. If I get in his arc, it could be bad one way or the other. It could be really bad.
Well-
Or it could go really well for me.
Well, depending on where the wind is, he might not even activate first.
That's
so
true.
she rather, I think ships are
They're always she's
referred
to me,
to as
just for their beauty. Get that stupid thing out of the way there.
Turn into the rock.
Yeah, I'm trying to skip it. Now I'm gonna attack if I, but I hope I'm putting myself in a position like you did, to where I can get a shot. But next turn I'm gonna end up really getting hurt unless the wind direction changes.
So yeah,
Okay, so we've got a shot on that one in the front
Yep.
there.
and that is the Madison, or no, I'm sorry, the Savannah.
And we are over 10 inches, so we're taking the -2 on that. But there's no other modifiers. So 4s or lower. Oh no!
Oh my
That's a lot of damage.
goodness!
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to close up on that. This is something that never happens to me.
Bask in it. Bask in the glory.
I'm really fighting back tears right now. This feels as good as 2016 when my Cubbies won the World Series. This is one of the greatest moments of my tabletop career. I'm gonna think about this for a second.
We need a medal that we can.
We do. We need to make up a medal for me. This is the first time I've ever rolled something this well.
So we're thinking about getting some like bicorn hats when we play this game.
Yep.
And if you want the hats, comment.
Yeah, tell us. Tell us you want us to look like an idiot.
Yep.
And we would look like an idiot.
Yep. For you.
Okay. So 4 points of damage, and that's on the Savvy.
That's on the.
Oh, no. Like, I really hate doing that to Savannah's ship, but it is what it is. So that's 4 points of damage on her right out of the gate. 2 criticals.
So,
And that's on a wounded ship. That one is, that's the Warden. That's
wow. It's impressive.
He's about to. I mean, he's gonna take some damage next turn anyway. But
Oh my.
she's on fire.
Yep.
She's on fire.
Only robot.
And that's the first thing, dude. Like, that's not
So,
even. I still got to do another roll.
Before we go any further, I know I immediately take some damage from that. I think for a small ship, it's like D6.
Yeah, it's D3, I think, for a small ship.
Is it? No, it's more than that. for
I'm
fire.
pretty positive it is, because I think the big ones are D6, and then the giants are like D10. No, you may be right.
We're gonna pause.
It's medium and D10 if it's large or extra large.
Okay, so guess what? He was right.
So D3.
I just need to shut up today.
So D3, so you already got 4 points of damage.
Yep.
D3 extra points. There's 2 more.
So that's
So
6.
6 points of damage.
So I'm already quickly
she's already in trouble.
approaching half ship points, which will prevent
Now.
that ship from getting XP, and
Yes.
it'll potentially put her out of action.
Yes.
So here's your second critical,
Well, yes, second critical.
because I don't roll to put it out until
Not
next
yet.
turn.
Nope.
Yep.
That's caught.
Yeah, it's certainly cool.
That's another one.
You've got to actually be kidding me. I think at this point it blows up.
Well,
Go to the on fire rolls. We'll be right back.
so extra structure damage.
Yeah, so
Roll that in the box.
here's
3 more points of damage.
3 more points of damage.
So that actually gets
So
you very close.
I was at 6 points. Now I'm at 9 points of damage.
Yeah,
So I'm
9
at 11 ship points total. So almost at half. So here's what we determined. Maybe there's an FAQ on this or something that we're not going to go stop what we're doing and look up right now. So later on, you know what, correct us in the comments. Y'all are going to do it anyway, so might as well be productive. But what we've went with is we've actually put 2 little fire markers on the ship. It's in bad shape. And what we've determined is that at the bottom of the critical table, it says that in the event that you have to make a skill test, or more than one skill test as a result of more than one critical, you would roll them in order. Now, that's talking about for the table, but since this is a skill test associated with a critical hit, basically what we've determined is that next turn I'm going to take 2 fire tests.
And the reasoning behind that is because, as John eloquently said off air, by just disregarding it altogether, it essentially takes all the vinegar out of that second critical hit.
And that's lame.
And yeah, it would be lame to just say, oh, well, your second critical just does 3 more points of damage and that's it.
Because at least in this case, we're just kind of following the rules twice because it happened twice. So at the very worst, we just did the right thing, but
whether or not we got the rule right,
Yeah.
we did what we felt was the right
yeah. So anyway, if anybody that's a mod or a writer, which I think Gabriel's like really the only one that works on Black Seas, if you ever watch this, please do that. Or we could go on the Facebook group. That's probably the better idea. Let's go on the Facebook group and let's tell the guys what happened. That's 9 points total damage on that ship.
Hey, you know what? I'll take that. That's a good
Yeah,
turn.
that's
That's
pretty
a good turn
rough.
shooting.
Okay, so that was that ship. Next will be these guys, actually.
Yep. So you can try. You can pass it over.
Oh goodness.
Hey, I feel like I have effectively forced your hand and taken you out of lines, maybe.
So, I was reading on the on ship's fire section, so I know how to take a skill test for each of those. However, I can voluntarily give up being able to change my level of sail or direction, I believe, and get
And shoot, yeah.
and give a +2 to that test, and it will also prevent me from exploding on a 1, which we could have done with the merchant ship last game, but I'm actually kind of satisfied, at least from my perspective, of how it ended.
Well, yeah, because
So,
honestly, I feel like if the ship didn't sink, I think we discussed it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
You were on course to lose that one
Yeah.
just because of how it played out.
So, yeah, here I go. I'm just gonna take them at this. Well, it says to do it in order, so I'm gonna do it in order.
So that's a pass on the first one.
Yep. And that passes on the regular skill even without the 2, and that passes too. Okay.
So simply, they quite simply they put the fire out.
Oops. Don't need.
But you won't change direction. You won't change level of sail, and you can't shoot with her.
But I do still get to move,
Yes.
and I am at battle sails, so it's just gonna get out of dodge, which at this point,
She needs to.
yeah, I really don't care. So I'll let you take over camera duty. Am I actually gonna hit? Whoops, I slid it over a little bit. What am I doing? Stop moving stuff, John.
I'm actually just gonna narrowly miss it. That's assuming that I didn't accidentally slide it over too far. I was trying to keep it straight. Oh well, it's a gentleman's game. So you're just getting out of. You're just getting out of there. I'm okay with that. I'm not even gonna try to stay in line. In fact, I'm gonna drop the light sails on that one, and that is the Argus.
You're gonna try to punish.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let that one go unpunished. And So I don't have to be in the wind to attack, do I? I just have to take a skill test.
That is a good question. I don't think that's ever come up in our game. Give us a second, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. So after combing through the rule book, we have come to the determination that John can't just tack and drop 2 levels of sail. The book just says if you're facing into the wind on a ship's activation, you can attempt to tack and get out of it. So at this point, he's opting to drop to a lower level of sail.
And on top of that, I'm going to change my ammo type in all my gun decks to just regular ammo.
So that one was the one that was grape shotted?
That one and that one both.
Okay, wow. So yeah, so...
But I don't know if I was allowed to change my ammo in that one last turn, but I'm not going to, just in case.
Yep.
So, let's move that guy up there.
So it's going back to regular ammunition, so she can't shoot this turn, but she will have range next turn.
Cool, let me take that grape shot counter off. Okay. So now it's going to be that ship and then that one.
Well, I still got
sorry,
my one in the back to sell.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So that one already nope, this one did not activate. That one activated. This one is at what number are you? Number 6. That one is at full sail still.
Can it be a full set? Yeah, it can.
So we're going to move this way. And she's going to stop at that first activation and she's going to plunk a couple shots off.
Okay.
That's the...
I'm going to fire as she bears.
I may not actually be on the broadside on you there, but I'll double check. Yeah, I got you.
I can do that, right?
Yeah, you can fire as she bears.
Yeah.
So, I think we determined you fire as she bears first.
No, you do.
Alright, so I fire
Yeah,
first.
whoever's activation it actually is.
So, 2 shots. I think I've just got the over 10-inch penalty. Yep. So that's it. So 4s again. That's 2 misses.
Cool.
Perfect.
Payback.
Okay. So
Now I would activate.
yes. Now you'll activate and fire hers.
So you have not moved over 10 inches.
But I still do have the full sails attribute.
Yes, you do have full sail, so that's the -1.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you're over 10 inches for me, obviously.
Well, plus we're the small ship.
Plus a small ship, which is
So you know what? I think we might have boogered it on the first one because the small ship. You couldn't have done well. No,
well, I still rolled a 1 anyway, so
I think we determined
because a
last
one
game
always hits. Yeah. So
I keep going back to the other Warlord game where you can take a modifier and go beyond. So yes, a small ship. Yeah, I think you.
So I start
at 6. Yep. I'm a full sail, so you're going to drop to 5. No, the full sails is -2.
oh, so that's the -2. Yeah.
So you're going to drop to 4, and I'm a small ship, so you'll drop to 3. So you'll get.
And then over 10 inches, so 2.
Yeah. So you get your initial broadside, but you need 2s.
Yeah,
2s and
that's
1s.
fine. That's fine. Let me take that. So that's 3 on. I think I get 1 extra light and 1 extra heavy, I believe.
So you're for a medium ship.
Yeah. Heavy hitting on 2s.
Yep.
1.
That's actually quite a bit.
2,
Wow, that
3.
ship's probably in trouble.
Yeah. Okay, so let's count this up real quick. So we've got 2 damage.
Yep, 2 damage.
Uh,
That puts us at 5.
I can't shoot that.
Oh yeah, so the carronade goes away, so it's 2 damage,
2 damage.
3 damage, 4 damage, and then a critical roll.
Get out of here.
Maybe that was a. Okay. So I'll take 4 damage on that ship, and I'll make notes of that. And you got a 3 on the. You You get a 3 on the critical hit chart, which is a rudder steering hit.
Yeah, I think I was about to say we had that one earlier.
So that ship, on it, I guess from now on, from this point on, it actually will take its. It'll have to, but when because I still got 2
no,
moves left.
it says the next activation, doesn't it?
That's true. So it
Yeah.
won't do it this turn.
Yeah.
So 4 points of damage. That's pretty rough.
Yep.
That was the one that was full sail, so that puts us down to 16 ship points. I really didn't. That was an excellent roll considering all the modifiers you had against you.
I had a lot of dice though.
I know that if I had been me, I
Oh, I
would have
guess.
rolled all 7s and 9s.
Yeah.
So, moving up. Oh, I forgot. This is the gusting turn, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm going to go ahead, since I didn't change
So
direction.
I actually probably need to do this real quick.
Yeah, I'm just going to add that extra inch.
Bump. Bump. Okay.
So that was, this is now my second move. Actually, yes. And I also corrected like John did on his next one.
So I think I don't know. I've gotten adequate revenge for all the fire mess,
No, I don't think you have either.
but I did score 2 criticals this
Yes.
turn. So, you know what? I'm okay.
So
with that.
now this is my second gun position firing. And I could be in trouble, honestly, with 2 ships now. Because of the wind direction, depending on what it does. But we're gonna take some shots, and honestly, if the best thing that can happen for me right now is the wind going back to the west. But if it doesn't, then we're gonna take some extra damage. But the good news is, for the viewers at home, if I'm doing the damage to myself, John's not doing it to me, and he doesn't get credit for that.
That's true.
So I will fire 2 shots at. Is that the Argus?
Yep.
2 heavies because.
No, that's the the Argus.
Okay. And this ship firing at you is the Charger. And it is 2 heavies. You are still at what, light sails?
Yeah, I
Okay.
dropped to light with him.
And we're not beyond 10 inches, so I'm looking like 6s. No, you're a small ship. So 5s.
Yep.
Nothing. There's my normal rolls coming.
Yeah. Okay. So then
You can always depend on my normal rolls.
you just have the what is that one back there? The Excellence.
This one is the Guardian,
The
and then
Guardian.
this one was the sales hit guy, which should be the Disdain. And actually, that target that will go away this turn,
Oh.
as I tore my ship off the table.
Oh,
Is that about right?
You actually put him almost exactly where he was.
Perfect.
Just that's me looking through the camera anyway. But
Okay. This may be a trouble though because
oh
I think we're good.
yeah, I think you can miss that.
And that is the number. And I didn't make the change
Oh.
this turn. That's fine.
Did you add the extra inch?
Yes, I did go 6 inches, but I did
Okay.
not make the change to battle sails, which is fine. Well, so, and I think because of the direction he was facing, he couldn't go more than light sails.
Yeah.
anyway. So, that's actually that works for me. And I think I'm going to position my big boy in such a way that he won't get affected. Cross my fingers. The big one's going full sails.
Oh, can he? Yeah, he can.
So, 6 inches there. Slight adjustment to the course there.
Might have to get that book out of the way.
Mm-hmm. This will be a shot in the dark because I'm going to fire as she bears. No, you know what? I may not have to. Let me check that because the broadside's on this. The ship's a little longer. Oh yeah, she's in.
Now
in
that might not be 20 inches.
It is. Are we over your hole there?
I think so. Yeah. like just barely. I mean, like stupidly just barely. But yeah, I think you. Well, if you do it. Okay, if you're doing it from there. Oh, that's really close. And you've got it on exactly 20 inches on
Yep,
your end.
I'm hovering at the edge of my ship.
Oh, that's stupid.
I mean, you can make a call. It doesn't matter to me one way or the other. Because it's a long-range shot, and it would be a shot in the dark if I hit it.
I'll give it to you. Whatever, no big deal. I mean, it was like
Nope, never mind.
Why?
Because we got double shot. I can't go beyond 8 inches anyway.
Oh, so all of that was in vain.
Yep,
Cool.
doesn't matter. At some point, we're going to run into each other there.
Yeah.
And the goal is that the Savvy is in trouble. That's the goal. All right, so going on to turn 4 for a wind direction change.
We'll be back at turn 4.
So 2 ships go down.
Wind direction, turn 4.
We have no change in direction.
That's for the first turn of the game.
That's hurtful for me.
That is
on 2
because
ships.
those guys are going to be in trouble.
But we're going to be calling on our wonderful ability of the Admiralty.
So let me kind of hold this back. So the wind's going the same way. So it's going to be those guys are not in line anymore. So
small ship.
the Madison, then the Incognito.
Yep.
Then the which one is
attack
that?
test on this one here, which should be the Warden.
Yep. Then that one.
This one here is number. That one should be number 6, the Charger.
Then that one.
The Disdain.
Nah.
Oh, then yours.
Yeah. It's
the Argus.
Yeah, it's a little bit further left. So then that one.
Then the Argus. Then the Disdain.
Then the Disdain.
Then the Savvy.
Then the Savvy and then that one.
Okay.
Cool. So here. I will start moving this little guy. The Madison. I named it after. I think there might have been a Madison, but I named it after President Madison. So.
Yep, and I named this ship because of their natural disdain for the U.S. Revolutionaries.
So if I come within an inch, I gotta take the test, right?
Yes, both ships will take an entanglement test, and only one has to pass. And if I'm not mistaken, you get a bonus. Both ships get a +2 bonus because they don't want to become entangled. +1.
Yeah. So there's the first one, and that's not enough.
Nope. So then the second ship, that one is enough.
This guy will just keep on, or just the one that actually passes?
Well, no, yeah. As long as somebody passes, that you can basically just twist the small ship so that he doesn't continue in his trajectory.
Got about a move or an inch of movement left. Oh, I never said. No, he's still. That sucks. I meant to go to.
Yeah, I was gonna say you did that last turn too.
Yeah, I did. I still meant to go to battlefields with him. Oh well. Have to remember that next time. I think I can still get a shot off though, so it's not a big deal. I think I can. No.
But you did position yourself to where you can kind of sail down the line, popping shots next turn if they're still there.
That's true. Okay. Oh well. Now, do I want to make a change of level of sail? Because he's at light sail. And I could go to full sail.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, this is me. Okay, so...
I'm going to go to battle sail.
If you go to battle sail, like, your first move will stop you at a direct, like, bow rake against the Charger there.
That's what I'm...
And then the next move will put you directly in front of the Warden and do another bow rake, I think.
No, because I can't shoot the same gun position.
That's true, you couldn't. But you would put yourself in a position where I would hit you, I'm afraid, on that second move if you don't do it just right. Just out?
Well, I mean, if I turn him, that's a rake.
Yeah.
So I'll just do that. So I'm going to shoot him. And it's going to be...
Well, now you're still going to take you're going to take -4. Because he did move full sails. He's still at full sails until he tacks. And he's still a small ship. And he did move over 10 inches. So you do have a -4 right out of the gate, but you're not suffering anything else.
Yep. And I was checking to see how close.
I'm sure your carronades are in too.
Yeah, they are. But that was the position I fired from last time, so I won't get the extra. Well, you only get one.
Yeah, you only get one initial.
Yeah, so that's not even a big deal. So yeah.
So what did we say? Twos, yep. But I mean that doesn't matter to you.
Oh wait, no, but I'm not outside of 10 now, so actually it's 3s.
It's 3s, yep.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, you can roll them, but no, they're it's still -4 to your shots. Small ship, full sails, So -2 for full sails, -1 for the moving over 10 inches last turn, and then you're a small ship. So it's still -4 off of your starting 6.
Oh.
It would have been criticals only if you would have been over 10 inches.
Okay. So I got what I need to use.
Yes.
Rip. Oh well. Oh well. Okay, so I'll finish his movement out now.
I think where we got that wrong in the previous game was where we had we were doing -1 for the over the max range or something like that.
Yeah.
When that's over 2 as well.
I think you're exactly right.
So that might be the best move on your part. So if I can't tack, and I just thought about this. Well, that one's got a gun deck hit.
Well, depending on
The rudder guy, I mean, I've got to take skill checks. How are we gonna how are we gonna do that one? Because he's got to take a skill check for the tack, and then he's got to take a skill check for
No, he didn't take a skill check. He takes he just roll a d3 and see what happens.
Well, this one over here.
Yeah. So you take the skill check for the tack.
Yeah.
Well, you actually don't have to tack. Yeah, you do. No, you don't. What are you at?
We're at full sails on both those guys.
Oh, you are.
And yeah, it's the
yeah, you do have to tack.
yeah, both those guys are gonna have to try to attempt to tack.
Yeah.
So I guess we need to get to that. Because I think we determined that
Not yet.
activation is the charger.
Then that one.
He already went. Yep, that was the first one that moved.
That's right.
Yep, because you forgot to change his level of sail.
That is the one thing about this game. I mean, I guess you guys put a move marker.
Well, yeah, and they give us nice little porpoises or whale tail like tokens.
Is that what that's for?
Yeah, that's like your move marker, your activation. Typically, we're so messy, we're shooting at each other as soon as the game starts.
I just don't. There's already enough tokens.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that, and then so now it would be that one.
Well, no, it's that one coming from that angle.
Yes.
Yep. So that one, and then we determine.
No, that one, then that. Well.
Oops, bumped into the wall.
Yeah, no, you're right. That one.
Yeah, it's gonna go those 2 ships, and then the Argus, and then the Disdain, and then there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll hand over to you, and we will.
Sorry, I'm losing my mind.
Okay, so let's remove the cotton here and remove the gun deck hit because that ship does not need either one of those now. And she's at full sails, so we attempt to do attack, which would be, if it's a regular ship, we got a 5 up, but I do have the Admiralty, which allows me to re-roll a skill test.
Mm-hmm.
If I pass the attack, all I do is turn the ship, even if I have to, beyond its normal arc to get out of the tacking position. And then we can continue on as normal. Yeah, you just got to turn out of the wind to where you can maintain your level of sails.
Oh, okay.
But if I fail, we drop immediately from full sails to light sails at the angle that I'm at, and take D3 points of damage.
Yeah.
So this is for the charger. Don't need to use the Admiralty. So we're gonna tack, which depending on I guess in order to get out of that wind, I need to go hard left.
Yeah, you have to go left.
And we're just going to turn it to where the wind's coming in at the back of my ship regardless. And I think that is...
That will let you stay at...
Yeah, that lets me stay at full sails.
Yeah.
So, we will attempt some retribution because you know what? These little fellas here, they just got the guns repaired. And they're out for blood. And now watch me, all this big talk.
So I'm going to fire she-bears with the one in the back.
That one there?
Mm-hmm. Well, it might not be within the arc yet, actually.
Yeah, you're still looking.
I will, just make note of that, I will whenever it enters the arc.
Okay, you will have a problem with having an obstruction ship, I think, because...
that gives me a negative modifier.
I will double check that before we get to that.
Yeah, that's
point.
not relevant right now anyway.
So I'm going to have to fire she bears as well when I actually get to the front of your ship.
Yeah, because you're outside of it, the arc right now.
So that's a 2-inch move, and that right there will be... I still have 3 inches on this one and then one more move. But we will fire she bears there.
So that's a bow rake, so you're going to add +1 to all your damages.
But am I in point blank? And I am. So
you're going to double and add +1.
Now, that also modifies what I need to hit. Okay, so starting at 6.
+1 modifier for being within point blank. I think it's +1.
It might be +2, but I think you're right. Point blank on your range is +2. So
+2.
I'm starting at 8 because I'm point blank.
Yep.
And then it's -2 because fire she bears.
Oh yeah, we didn't take that into account last time.
And
But
don't
I got
know.
a critical anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered. I think all the hits you got were criticals anyway. Well, you got one maybe.
But the one that I know, the one that wasn't a critical that I got was legitimate.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, we're
Still rusty.
yeah, we're dumb.
I know it's in this book somewhere.
What are you looking
Nope,
for?
there it is, page 30, -2. So yes, I'm at 6.
Cool.
So needing 6s on these. Oh, that's good. That is very good. That is a critical on the front.
So first off, 2, 4,
6, 8.
6, 8,
Well, no, hold on, because you
9,
double.
10.
That's 2. That's 4. That's 8. So that's 8 right now.
9, 10.
Where'd you get to 9, 10?
Because you're
Oh, that's right. I'm point
breaking.
blank, and yeah. So it's 3 damage, 3 damage, and then you double them, right? So it'd be-
let's check that. So you double the total damage, not add the 1 and then double that to the die. So it'd be 2, 4, 5, 6 for the bow rakes, and then you double the total damage for being at point blank. So 6 goes into 12. So 12
points of
damage
damage.
total.
So we'll apply the 12 points of damage, and then I have to roll on the critical hit chart.
Yeah, for that one.
Come on, viewers at home. I want everybody to send in some good vibes. We want to roll a 6 here. Ooh,
that's close.
close enough. Not well. I say that it's not. It is well. It's an extra damage to the structure.
So you roll a D3, right?
Yeah, what's the D3?
So we're at 12.
That's not in the box. 3 points. So you take 15 points of damage that turn.
Jeez. Wow. That was rough. Okay, I'm gonna make note of that real quick. Okay, so that's got me down to 19 ship points total on that ship, so I'm like not
We
looking
may
too
actually, when I finish this move, because I did move 1, I may be able to stern rake this one here.
good. And I did say I was gonna fire she bears, but you know what? I don't know that at the point that you would actually come into my arc that would even be possible.
Yeah, and I may not even put myself in your arc.
Well, I think you're actually currently in it, maybe. Never mind. Looks different from this angle.
Okay.
So yeah.
So we're going to do fire from our second gun position at the Argus there. Don't get excited, folks watching at home. This is not going to be as intense as the other one.
Well, it's gonna be a.
Well, it'll be a stern rake, but it's going to be harder to hit.
You're only suffering a -1
-2. Well, for the small ship.
or -2 for small ship. Yeah. Whatever.
It's
it was.
-1 for small
Yeah,
ship.
minus
Yeah,
one.
and I'm not out of range, so I need 5s.
Yeah. And it will be a
It'll be a stern rake.
stern rake. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I should really start talking down on myself instead of talking good, because that is actually very damaging. That's
So
again, you double the damage on a stern rake.
yes.
Right, yeah.
So that'd be 4.
8 and another
8.
critical roll.
Yeah.
So 8 points of damage on the Argus and
Jeez.
another D3 damage for the infrastructure, superstructure. So another 1. So you
So
take 9 points of damage
9
on the
total.
Argus.
Goodness gracious. Okay. Well, that was probably about the best you could hope for.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
That was actually a very good turn for him. Now, what I'm totally expecting to happen is the Warden to just completely flub his tack. So we're taking attack skill check here. And I will use the 1 point of admiralty for him. His admiralty reroll. That's
You're
enough.
fine.
So he will take away his smoke from his last turn of shooting. And now I roll my dice, my D3, to determine what he does.
Yep.
Can I go ahead and change my level of sail now? No, I have to.
No.
No, attack. That's right. So I've
Yeah.
got to actually change his direction now out of to where he's not in the arc of that.
Well, actually, hold on. This is where it gets dicey again. Technically, that says at the start of your activation.
Yeah. So would I have done that before I do? Well, no, because you still have to move. So regardless, I passed the tack test.
Yeah.
Depending on what it does.
I guess we're still technically at the start of the activation.
Yes.
'cause-
So I guess, yeah, that is tricky because it says at the start of your activation you have to tack. But also at the start of my activation, I have to roll a D3 to see.
Well, this one wouldn't come into play until after you tacked anyway. So just
That's
go ahead
true.
and go ahead.
So
and
let me
move it.
tack it, and then I'll do my D3 to determine which way I go. which could be really bad. Okay.
Well, hold on now. You just
That's right.
yeah.
No. Yeah. My bad. I wasn't thinking. I needed to tack. I was so full of myself. I was excited. Okay. So now we're back to where we started. Now we roll to see what she does.
We're losing our heads today. I don't know. It's weird.
Okay, so I rolled a 3, which means she's going to turn hard to the right. And there's a seaboard. There's the sea term for it, but
Starboard is left
right?
and port is right.
Port. So she's got to turn hard to the port.
I might be wrong about that, but I don't think I am.
Before I even move, then I'm going to go ahead and step it down to battle sails with that ship.
Wait, but you just
Can
tacked.
you I did tack, but see.
But you said which means you would drop to whatever the appropriate level of sails.
But I have to change direction.
Oh, to maintain.
That's
your
what. God, you know what?
Hold on, we're gonna pause. Okay, so we have tacked, and now
I can't change level of sail or anything.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is, I rolled the D. We saw the D3 roll.
Yes.
And it was a 3, so we determined that that's as hard as she can to the right.
Yes. So now she has to turn as hard as she can to the right.
Well, after she
Which
moves,
happens at the end of her movement.
And I can't change my level of sail.
No.
So at the end of each move, she turns hard to the right.
So I think what's gonna happen is you're gonna narrowly miss that ship and turn, but you still can shoot. I think.
That's true. I can still shoot. I just can't change level of sail or change of direction.
Yeah. So actually, you're gonna get another frickin'. You're gonna get another rake.
Yeah,
on its stern.
And the Argus.
And this is probably gonna put it in Davy Jones' locker.
Technically, if I fire as she bears, I could probably rake them at both again.
Pardon?
If I fire as she bears, I could rake your bow again.
I see what you're saying, and you wouldn't. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to move up 2 inches, and we're gonna fire as she bears.
Yep.
Yep. So again.
So it's just gonna be the -2, I think.
Yep. So we're needing 4s. Got one more, and that is just 3 points of
So
damage.
that's 3 points of damage.
Let me go ahead and finish the move, which I moved up 2 inches to pull that maneuver off. And then she's going to move up to there.
Oh wow.
So that's dangerous.
That's lovely. So you're gonna be -1 because it's a small ship.
Yep.
So you start 6, -1 to 5, but then you'll get to go to 7 because you're point blank.
Yep.
And yeah, you'll be hitting on
So
7s.
7s or less.
Yep.
And that is 2 more hits, and we double that for a
Yeah, and that's doubled. And
Well,
then
it's
it'd be
just 2
tripled.
damage.
It'd be tripled because it's a stern rank and your point blank.
That's true.
Because you double and then you successfully or you add 1 multiplier each time you're supposed to multiply or double.
So it's going to be 6 points of damage. Is that correct? Well, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6. Is that right? Tripling the cannon shots.
Yeah, let's check that. So we were right. You trebled the damage. So that's it's a lot of damage. That's 6
12
points.
points into the Argus.
6 points.
Yeah, but no, because you treble the damage. 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6. Because it's a point blank stern rake.
Total damage.
Okay.
So actually it'd be 12.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, 12 points of
yeah.
damage.
We're doing it again.
That
So yeah, you trebled that. So it's gonna be treble the total. So 2, 4, and then treble that. So that's 12 damage.
12 damage into the Argus, which...
Yeah, which is enough to sink it.
No. So if it sinks it, I don't get a chance to capture it. But
Yeah, so it's sunk because it had 11 ship points, and I don't think I think 12 puts it at a -1. So it's not only sunk, it's there's no chance of recovering.
Yeah, so it's joined
So
Davy
it's,
Jones's
Gone.
fleet.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
And that actually is a 5-point bump for sinking a brig.
Oh.
Let's move all these nice and wonderful markers off.
And so
I still actually have to move and...
yeah, and so the game ends when half...
Yeah, when 2 ships are sunk from 1 person. Either way, at least 2 ships have to go. So I've still got... I got a turn now. I've got to make my hard right turn now. Because that's my first move.
Yep.
I'm going to move the cotton. I know that the viewers love it, but I'm going to move it for the time being.
I don't know that any one of them ever said anything about it. That's fine.
Well, I'm going to pretend that they love it. So
Which puts you right back into the position of having to attack, I think. Or no, because you could just drop to anchor if you had to.
I can't change level of sail though, so this one's going to stay at full sails.
Oh. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. So you'll have to attack again.
Yep. So, and this one did use the Admiralty, so...
Well, you'll do that at the start of your...
Well, I still got another move.
Well, it's at the beginning of your
That's true,
activation,
yeah.
So you'll just go off the table.
Yep. So she'll come back. Yep. So she will leave the table. Well, the hole's not off the table yet. She'll leave the table next turn.
I think, is it any point in the ship or is it the hull?
We always have gone off the hole, but I mean, I can start her all over. It actually benefits me if we start her all over.
Just to avoid knocking off the table, I feel like that's probably a good idea.
So this I'm gonna leave this marker here to indicate where she comes back on next turn.
Okay, so now it's gonna be this ship.
Yep. It'll be a close one. Actually, coming
yeah.
in.
Yeah, I can see it from this angle.
So is that ship over there?
I mean, it looks like it to me. I think it's, well, you don't have it. That's rough, actually. So do it as straight as you can from the,
Let me get all the stuff out of the way here. Okay.
From this angle, it looks like it's me, but it depends on how, well,
Here's your wind.
no, it'd be you.
And that one is the disdain, number 5 here.
We need a laser pointer for that.
Yeah, we really do. We really do. That one Andrew has is amazing.
Hopefully Andrew will show up on the channel at some point. Andrew.
Yes, Andrew. Calling you out. I'm going to go ahead and bump this one to battle sails before I even move with it. So we can start getting... Some days you just, your brain ain't working.
Okay.
There's been a whole lot. Well, we've introduced a lot of ships onto the table.
Yeah.
And as we've said on numerous occasions, it's been a really rough year. We normally get together twice a week and play, but everybody's trying to avoid getting sick. Everybody's there's a lot of games we play. We've had a huge influx in a large card game lately that has bogarted a lot of our Thursday night game sessions. So we're trying to get back on board, and we've just introduced a lot more stuff, a lot more terrain, a lot more ships, a lot more action. As you guys I'm sure can tell, there's a lot more been going on in this game. So give us a little bit of leeway. John will make some wonderful notes when he sees the mistakes when he edits the video. So
Yeah.
now I'm going to hand it over to you.
Yeah, so now...
So you can now move the Savvy into her.
No, I'm going to hand it over to you.
No, I mean, I'm handing the turn over to you.
I know what you meant.
So that the Savvy can make this wonderful trek around this. See, I'm going to pretend in my head that she doesn't see, the captain of the Savvy does not see the HMS Guardian cruising along her lines.
There's a good chance that, honestly, he wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, because you got that little island in the way. I imagine the little sailor missing half his teeth, half riddled with scurvy. He's up in the crow's nest right now with his eyes scanning the horizon. And it's not until they crest the island that they see it.
I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to load heated shot
Oh no!
into there.
Hey, that's might as well.
Because that's the only chance at this point that it has of doing literally anything. And I'm also gonna go to battle sail, which I'm good to do.
Yeah, because it was if it wasn't already at battle
It was
sails,
at light sails.
it was at light sails. Yeah.
I believe so. Anyway, let me make sure.
Yeah, because you've not been moving anything at full sails.
Oh, actually, yeah, it's a light sail. It's a light sail. Okay, so now it's a battle sail.
So yeah, this is going to get really dicey over here because as you viewers may remember, the ones with the keen memory, very first turn of the game, we loaded up the Guardian with double shot. And if I can get within 8 inches, the Savvy's going to be in trouble. Because right now, John did load up the hot shot, but he's forfeiting his turn of shooting to do so. So he is, at the moment, you're robbing from Peter to pay Paul.
Sure am. Okay, well,
I might be able to make up for lost time. I might not. So that's that move.
It's a high risk, high reward.
And then
You're banking on me doing my typical flubs on my shots. So we're gonna go ahead and step the Guardian back. No, we're gonna go back. We're gonna step down to battle cells. And she has not fired her guns yet, so she will get to add. Is it gonna be 3? She's gonna get 3 heavies and 2 lights. Is that correct on the initial broadside?
Yep.
And I've got to get within 8 inches, and that's range of the carronade as well. Okay. So let's move the...
Uh-oh. I tried to move it so that you wouldn't be able to do what you're about to do. Okay, yeah, okay, I'm good. It's not a rake.
I couldn't rake it.
It's not a rake.
Couldn't make the rake.
I'm actually barely within your arc, honestly, but I am. I'm definitely within your arc.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so you stayed at battle cells. You didn't go to full, so there's no modifier there. I do suffer the small ship -1.
Yep, that's about it.
Yep. So it's going to be a 5s. It looks like for me.
Yep.
Okay. And I do get the initial broadside. I'm going to go ahead and turn to the page with the double shot.
Double shot. Oh, you got a -1 for the double shot too.
Yep. So that's what I was trying to make sure.
Yeah, so it's actually 4s. But what does double shot do? Double damage?
Double damage.
But
yeah.
you can't score criticals.
No, yeah, there are no criticals.
Yeah, which
But she's already hurt, so I'm not looking for.
you're gonna sink it. Is what you're
if I
gonna
can
do.
get a decent set of shots here.
Yeah.
So yes, double shot. All gun positions are now 8-inch range. It's doubled. With any successful hit, it's a double. No criticals. If you do it at point blank, you triple it. And you could druple it if it's a bow rake or a stern rake.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, so.
But none of that applies.
Yeah, none of that applies. So we're British. We start at 6. We take -1 for a small ship and -1 for the double shot. So we're needing 4s.
4s, and you added all your dice for your initial broadside. Should be 1 extra light.
3
extra
blues,
heavy.
2 reds, and a black.
There should be 3 reds, I think. Oh, no, there's only 1 light cannon on that one.
Yeah, 1 light cannon on frigate.
Yep.
Okay.
So you actually only got 1 hit.
Well, we got a
No, 2
heavy
hits.
and we got a light.
Which-
So we're just
right.
going to be doubling those.
So 4 for the heavy and
So it's 6 points of damage total.
And I have
That-
11 ship points left, which puts
So-
me down to 5. So I'm gonna have to
you're
take
gonna
a
have to
test.
take a test.
Yep.
So what I say, I got 6.
Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my die for that, and make sure I'm sure that's below my breakpoint. Yeah, breakpoint is 7. So I gotta take a test, which I need a 5 up, or I strike the colors.
Yep.
And I strike the colors.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it real quick. And we're going to double check the rules of the scenario and see if that ends the game or if it doesn't.
So yeah, that's the end of the game. 'Cause
So-
we both had 4 ships.
Yep.
And it ends when one is half of one is sunk or struck the colors, and I got to do both.
Yes,
so.
you did get a chance to actually take part in both. I'm going to put
Um,
this here so that they can see she has effectively donned. She's raised the French flag, as we like to say.
So yeah, we'll tally up all the points. I mean, it's clear you won, but we'll see by how much you won, and we will give you that after action report and updates on the campaign. Okay guys, here we are with an after action report. So yeah, let's start with VPs, victory points.
Victory points. John scored 8 victory points this game. I scored 55. So, considering that the game goes on at victory points is how you determine who wins the scenario, or not the scenario, the campaign. Campaign is decided upon victory points primarily, and then it goes off of win-losses secondary. So, I'm in a good spot.
You're in a good spot, huh?
Yeah, driver's seat. I guess if I had to do MVP, HMS Warden. She did a couple of bow and stern rakes and sunk a ship. And I guess
For a brig, that's pretty good.
very good for a brig.
I don't have an MVP. My Get him out of here.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I mean, I think it's mostly due to my poor admiralty, but oh well.
For the viewers that are coming back for the second episode, we ended the last episode with me at 104 resource points. John had 97 resource points. The way the campaign goes, it builds after the second game. We each gain 500 resource points.
Yep.
I now have 604. John has 597. Then we did some repairs. John dropped to 562 to bring his ships back to where they need to be. And I'm at 596 after topping off my food stores and my citrus, citrus orange juice drink to keep away scurvy.
Really. I kind of came out of that one pretty rough, honestly. I have less points. We're just gonna say a fifth of the victory points you do, which again, that's how we'll determine that'll be the first determining factor, the most important one in the campaign. And I lost a ship. It's honestly going about how well as this probably actually would had the scenario really played out in real life. So I guess I can't complain.
Well, and to be fair, if it stays on that course, Britain is really only an island, and and they cannot really maintain long-term battles across the globe. So as the game goes on and you start to get more points, you might get more ships in there, and you might be able to.
My ships are also cheaper.
Yes, and you'll see that in the next game. We're not going to do it today, but we will update you before the next game as to what pretty new ships we bought and brought into the fray.
Yeah, you'll see them at the beginning of the next game.
Yep. So that's all I've got.
That's all for me too. So that's been episode 2 of our Black Seas campaign. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, we'll see you next time.